Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Well, hello. We are live on the Miguel and Holly and the Hits 961 Facebook page and the Miguel and Holly YouTube channel. So please make sure to go watch it there if you're listening or subscribe. We also have the Miguel and Holly fam in the Platypus Posse group on Facebook that we have, which is really cool because I've started to see some Charlotte fam members hop in there and join.
Same.
So that's been really cool. I want to kind of do a lot here quickly. We'll get to why we have to leave here earlier in a second. But I also wanted to go through our long weekends as well, because it was Labor Day weekend. And so it was sort of like a little mini vacation. Hopefully you got one. Holly, how was yours?
It was good. It was relaxing. We had been sort of looking forward to just doing nothing for this whole weekend. But we had friends over on Friday night. We had Scott and Monica over Friday night. Like, I don't know why I'm being cagey about it.
Scott and Monica.
Yeah.
And for our new Charlotte fam, Scott used to be our producer in Tampa, who's still there. And Monica is his girlfriend who actually lives in my house that I still have in Florida.
Yeah. It's a weird sort of all the connected dots.
All connected.
But it was fun. It was so fun. And like my boyfriend tells me I got to stop doing this. And I don't know why. It's because I'm older than they are. And so I was like, well, like when we were planning it, I'm like, well, I mean, I like an earlier evening. Like I was like, do you guys want to come over for like dinner time? So they wanted to come over at 5. And I'm like, and then if you guys want to go out after, like, we're not stopping you. Like I know I'm lame. Like you can leave. And he's like, stop saying that. Please stop saying that. Like if they want to leave, they will. And if they don't, they won't. And I'm like, okay.
Absolutely.
And then I said it once while they were there. He's like, that's the only time you get to say it. Like, stop saying that. And then they ended up staying till like 11 fucking 30. And I was like, woo, we were tipsy. And poor Scott looked like he was about to just fall asleep on himself. Like he was tired. You could just tell. And they had plans all weekend long, but they ended up staying really late. And I'm like, I think people like to hang out with us.
Yes, listen.
I think we're fun.
Most straight people will stay. Gays will always leave to go out.
Yes, that's
every
true.
time. We will always come up. But you know what?
Get that appointment.
Right? We will pack in that fun at your house because this happened at your housewarming. Like all the gays showed up and we were pouring shots and we were dancing.
Oh, yeah, y'all did pour shots.
Right. And then remember at like 10 o'clock, we were like,
yeah, I was like, where did
nope, gotta go to the drag
Is there
show.
a gay here somewhere? No, none of the gays. They're gone. They gone.
Listen,
so anyway, that's fine.
You never have to worry about a gay overstaying their welcome because we will head out that night.
Well, maybe that's why I was like, you guys can go if you want. Like, I don't ever want someone to feel like they're stuck with me. I don't know. So I got to work on that more in therapy. That's fine.
Yeah, write that one down.
I need to. So that was Friday night. Saturday was whatever. My person was in a mood, which I was so angry at him about because, like, to be fair, he has bipolar disorder, and like we are very open about it, and like we are very super like hyper vigilant about it. But he just hit a mood on Saturday morning. And so I was like, you know what? Fine. I'm just going to do my own thing. But then I got like secretly mad. So I didn't say anything about it. So then he was in a mood and then I got into a mood. By the time Saturday night rolled around, I ordered us dinner. Like I mad ordered it.
Oh.
And I was like, and so then finally, like as usual, and this is what we've realized, I don't know how to fight well or fair. It's difficult. So like we've come together through the years a lot of like how to argue productively, but when he's in that mood and I get into that mood, like it's just like you might as well just set a little TNT stick on fire and wait for it. So by the time like the explosion happened on Saturday evening, I just absolutely lost my shit screaming. I think I screamed, I hate you. I'm miserable, but I got you fucking dinner. Like, I mean, screaming. Probably not the best use of my anger. But like, luckily, and this is weird because this has happened like for the last 3 times that we fought, which was over the course of maybe like 6 months. So it hasn't happened. It's happened a lot because fall is tough for him. His cycles go near the fall. So it happened when like I was out of town, and then it just happened over like Labor Day. And so I'm screaming. And like what happens is when I get to that point, his switch flips and he's like, "You hate me?" And I'm like, "Yes." And then he's like, "Okay." Then he turns into the responsible one and he's like, "All right, let's talk about it." He's like, "Are you miserable all the time?" And I'm like, "Don't you try to logic me out of this." I'm like, "I need a minute." And so then like now the flip has happened. And instead of me being the responsible one ordering him dinner, even though I'm pissed, now he's the responsible one. He's like, "How many pieces of pizza do you want? I'm just going to get this while you're mad." And so then after that, the rest of the weekend was like easy peasy. And we just had like the best time. And I think my favorite thing is that we decided, because we watched House of the Dragon, all caught up with that.
Yes.
Great.
Mhm.
Some thoughts. I have some thoughts, but it's good and it's intense. So I'm like, thank God this isn't like every episode dropped at once. I'm cool with it dropping once a week.
Oh, it's too much. It's too much to like.
You can't.
You got to
And we
process
got-
all of it.
And we got Handmaid's Tale starting up this month. I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
sorry. Where were any of these shows when we were like just doodling around doing nothing? But whatever. So the most fun thing that I think happened is that we went out to dinner, would have been Sunday night, and then we didn't really have anything that we wanted to like particularly like we were both excited to watch. So we just put on TV, and Guardians of the Galaxy happened to be on TV. And then we were like, this was a good soundtrack. And so then we started listening to the soundtrack on Alexa with the TV on mute, and we were just singing the songs, and it was a blast. So it was overall, aside from the small explosion that happened on Saturday, you ruined it. Like, I'm fine. It's fine. After all that, Sunday was fine. Great. Actually, Monday was great. And then we kind of just got back into the week. So
It's so
that was my
funny.
weekend.
I think I've only seen you do that once before, Holly.
Yeah, it's not my favorite thing. I hate it actually.
Yes.
But like, it's because I don't know how to start a fight, like to get it over with. Because sometimes fights are good. Like there should be some type of disagreement in a relationship sometime.
Right.
And we don't really fight that often, actually. Like I would say maybe we have like, I don't even know how many. Like I said, I think we've had like 3 kind of like blow ups like that in the last 6 months. So, and it's probably less overall, like it was just like the cycles. But anyway, and we don't fight that often because we pretty much agree on a lot of things. But when we do fight and he's in a mood, because again, like we're dealing with, there's also a disorder at play. I don't know how to, like it can be explosive, and I don't like getting like that. And he's like, and I don't like that I can cause you to be like that. So we're trying to work on.
Well, but I think it also just happens. I mean, when you're around someone all the time,
That's true.
just,
We're around each other all the damn time.
You're right. So it's born to happen. So it's not like you can ever, make it not happen. I think just how do we prevent it from reaching like that sort of boiling point where it's like, all right, we can already tell that we're like going up the slide of anger. Like, how can we sort of press the stop button and be like, all right, I'm annoyed. Like, I don't feel great about the situation right now. Like, let's either like say we're going to talk about it later when we're calm.
And actually, he's better at that now, because in the early days of our relationship, we didn't know any of this was going on. So it was just rough. But now I still deal with like that leftover PTSD of like from my mom growing up. Like I'm afraid to anger people and I'm afraid to like speak my feelings, and I've always been a bottler. But I've learned about that since I've been doing therapy for 3+ years. And so I really try not to bottle, but I'm still not great at like being super expressive when I know it might cause an argument. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Like standing up for yourself may bother the other person.
right.
When
And
in reality, you're doing something for yourself.
I am. Not only am I standing up for myself and doing a good thing for myself, it's good for the other person too, because he wants to know. Like,
well, and to me, I always feel like you have a deeper understanding of a friend or a person you're in a relationship with when you have those sort of disagreements, because usually what it comes down to is you're not communicating, and there's a misinterpretation of how you feel and how they think you feel. And it's like when you're able to calmly say, all right, here's what I meant, here's what you meant. Obviously, neither of us hates each other, but we need to understand where we're coming from. Then it's like
Yeah.
you have a deeper level of understanding, and it deepens that bond between the two of you in your relationship or your friendship.
Yes, so spot on, because then you can use that to build on, because inevitably disagreements and fights are going to happen. So
Mhm.
you use what you learned in that one to help for future ones, and then they don't get to that point probably. So, it is just very helpful, because, and this is also my thing, and I noticed this with my kid, with Maya, because I'm so empathic and I can feel other people's feelings. I really can. Like, that's a weird skill or, talent or whatever that I have. It can be used for evil, because since I already know where the feeling is, I assume I know what they're thinking too.
Mm.
And I've done that my whole life. I make assumptions on, oh my
Mhm.
God, I know this person is feeling this type of way. And then I make the story up in my head about why they might be feeling that way. And it's usually
Mhm.
something to do with me or
Mm.
whatever. And I did that with Maya the other night, and she called me out on it, but without knowing she was doing that. She's like, I never said that was the thing. And I realized, okay, now I feel her and I know her. So I know it's probably this. And I might know a little bit better than her at this age. But she never did tell me she was that. I
Mhm.
assumed. So
Right.
let her tell me. I can say, it seems like you're feeling this. What's causing this? Instead of being like, are you upset about this? Why? Why am I
Mm.
inserting my own assumptions in? So
Mhm.
that's something I work on.
Look at your daughter teaching you.
I
Mhm.
know. Whew.
And Anne Marie said, what do you do when you have a partner who won't use their words or talk when something is wrong? I think that you have to sit them down and first, like, let them know that that may be the case, because I
Mm.
think that my husband Abe, was that way.
Well, because
Um
often those people are trained to do
Right.
that.
And he will say, I literally never communicated. Like, if I was upset, I just wouldn't talk or whatever. And so I was like, well, we're not going to do that. So when you are
It's
upset,
not
I'm like,
helpful.
all right, well, let's break it down. Like, because I'm very good at sort of going through my emotions. Like, I always describe it as like a file folder of being able
Hmm.
to be like, all right, I feel anger. Okay, why am I angry? Am I hungry? Am I dehydrated? Am I not sleeping enough? And then I can sort of pinpoint what it is. But that's because of how I was brought up and I spent so much time alone, I was
Yeah.
always able to like pinpoint and be down in my emotions. And a lot of people can't because they've never just taken the time to do that. So literally, I go through that exercise with him and I'll be like, all right, so what happened in your day? This happened. All right. Well, did it make you feel these certain ways? All right. It made you feel that way. And so then we can sort of dig down into it. So sometimes you kind of have to like help people along the way if you're able to do that,
Yeah.
if you
If
have
you
those
can be the
tools to do
helper.
that. If
Correct.
not, then it may be a therapy situation.
And also let them know that it's safe to say their feelings,
Right.
because sometimes when they were growing up or from past relationships, when they did open up and talk about when something was wrong, it was either used against them later or it was not received, period.
Right.
So they just either were trained not to speak their emotions or learned that speaking my emotions is going to lead to bad ends. So you got to establish that there's a safe base first.
Even when you do establish, sometimes, like, I'll have an argument with Oscar, and he'll tell me saying, my fiance Oscar, he'll be saying, well, we already had this conversation. Like, why didn't you just tell me how you felt right then and there? And I
Mm.
was like, that's my coping mechanism. Like, this was actually pretty recent, and I was like, I had to digest my thoughts of the issue that we were having, and that's why I was being silent. He knows, everybody knows when I'm upset. Like, there's no way of me hiding it. So he was noticing that I was upset, and he was like, "Well, what's wrong? What's going on?" And I was like, "Nothing. I'm just like tired. Like I've just been up
Mm.
since
Tired,
I've
my
been up
favorite.
since 4
Tired.
a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Tired."
seems like such a good idea. You're like, I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally got the courage, which I felt like I was like, "Okay, I'm confident. Like now I can talk to him about it." He was like, "But why? Like we already tried to have this conversation. Like why didn't you just immediately come up to me?" And it's hard. It's a battle to continue having that confidence of knowing how you want to say something and really confront your emotions to your other person. So it's hard. It's a work in progress. It's never just easy to just say, all right, let's see how you feel.
Yeah, because you're working past your own defaults.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do think too that you have to give, because usually there's like one person that wants to like deal with it right then. And then there's another person that's like a Kelvin that's like, well, let me organize my thoughts and then let me, because I'm that way. Like I need to, before we have a discussion and I say something that I didn't really mean, let me truly understand where I'm coming from first. And then we can dig into it, because then I can clearly communicate.
Right.
Because if I'm just going based off of like surface level things, it literally may just be because I'm hungry right now and not because of what I like actually really truly feel. So like let me dig down and like dig through that first. So that's like one of the big things I think when it comes to relationships and learning how to really, really communicate, and not just like, hey, how was your day? But like, no, let me dig down and understand who you are underneath all of the surface stuff.
Yes, that helps. A good basis helps.
Real quick, some shout outs. Hello, Shannon, Francisco, Zinda, Amy, Doe Eyes, Brian Sells. What it do, Scooby Doo? If you missed Blown Off this morning, you want to go to the Miguel and Holly Blown Off podcast on wherever you listen to podcasts and catch up with it from today.
Yeah.
How was your Labor Day weekend, producer Kelvin?
How was it? I am so happy I got to make some new friends that I probably would not go out of my way to be friends with. And I got to meet some new people, and I got to celebrate my old college roommate's bachelor party. I was gonna say shower. I don't know why, but not his bachelor shower.
I don't think
His
men have
bachelor
showers.
party. They don't.
Don't know why.
They should. Yeah, it was really. It would. I use the word loosely fun because we started out the first day on a 6-mile hike that took us 4 hours and 15 minutes.
Dear Jesus.
I don't know what was worse. I've done a CrossFit class, and then I've done this hiking experience, and I don't know which one was worse. I'm going to say the hiking just because it was 4 hours long.
Longer.
Yeah.
Is this somebody that was on the thing? Daniel, who's here on the Facebook page?
Oh,
watching?
yeah. There he is. Yep.
Yeah,
He's here.
Yeah. He said, hey.
Yep.
So was it his bachelor party?
It was his.
Okay.
Yes, it
Okay.
was.
Yeah, because I would say like I did CrossFit for a very long time. And I will say hiking to me is a lot worse because of the conditioning that's involved in it. Because like CrossFit, you can like go at your own level. But like when you're on a trail, it's a trail.
Right.
Like you can't, I mean, you can go slower, but like if you got to climb up something,
you gotta just do it either way.
You gotta climb it.
Right. You can't walk around it like you can at CrossFit or something if something is too heavy.
I say CrossFit just because I almost passed out the one class. And like with this, I wanted to pass out at one point, but for the most part, yeah, like there was some anxiety that set in when I was telling all the boys, go without me. Like I'm sweating, profusely sweating. And all of them are there like, all good. It's all great.
Like, look at these
jackets.
hashtag views.
Yeah, literally not one of them huffing and puffing. And yeah, it just really, it really set in the anxiety mental aspect of the hike because I wanted to quit. And I was like, okay, if I quit, I could just go somewhere else. And it's like, no, you can't.
Right.
No, you're just gonna die on that hill now. Literally.
Right. It's either death or finish it. And those are my only two options. And I got so anxious about that.
Yeah. My God, I'm anxious about it right now.
But the boys were very sweet. Didn't make me feel bad at all. They waited for me. It was totally fine. They were very patient with me.
Now, would you do it again?
No. Oh my God, no.
That's fine.
No, literally, it wasn't terrible. It's just it's not my thing. Like,
not everything is everybody's thing.
Yeah, and like, sorry, certain aspects of it, I think it's pretty dumb. Like, you have to be so careful where you're stepping, right? Because there was a point in the trail where we were just jumping on little logs, and there was a shit ton of mud everywhere. And like, if you fell, you were going to be with mud for the next 3 miles all over your clothes. Like, you have to really pay attention where you step. And you can't even enjoy like the surrounding areas. Like I couldn't really take in like, oh, this is beautiful as I'm walking. No. So I could have just twisted my ankle at one point and fell off.
You know, I think that there's a difference in some people because Kelvin, this is where I think you, Holly, and I are all alike. Because I'm like, I never want to put myself in a situation where I could die or hurt myself, minus my workouts that I do with CrossFit or whatever. But I remember when my parents-in-law were here visiting for Easter, and we went hiking near Lake Norman. And like they love hiking, like they go hiking almost every day, some aspect of it in upstate New York when they can. But that's just their way of like, especially they discovered it during the pandemic because my father-in-law is immunocompromised and they didn't see anyone for a very, very long time. That was their way of getting out in the nature and stuff.
Right.
Well, and Abe, my husband, is like super adventurous and like anything that puts him in the face of danger, he's like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, that is stupid. Why would you want to put yourself in danger to die? I just think it's literally a whole different way of fun where it's like that exhilaration. It's that adrenaline where they're like, oh my God, like this is so fun. Like when we were hiking near Lake Norman and there was like a log that you could like walk across to get to the other side, or you could like go around it.
Across the lake?
No, not across the lake. No. But it was like just a big clearing of land. And like, I guess a tree had fallen down and you could walk across it, or you could go on the trail and go around it. And so clearly I was like, bye, I'm walking around. But of course, the two Gatakean guys, the dad and my husband, are like, let's go walk across it. And I was like, there ain't no way.
Right.
And then his dad went back and came back again. And I was like, y'all different. Y'all different.
Yeah.
There ain't no way.
That's not, my people were not athletic people. From what I can tell, my genetics, we gathered the berries maybe, and we knitted things maybe. I don't think we did a lot of foraging necessarily.
No, apparently the Gatakeans were building huts and stuff back in the day because I'm like, girl, I will cook a dinner. I'll be here. So that's why they're coming again, I think next month. And I'm like, so I will ride separately and we can go to a lunch before the hike.
There it is.
I will drop you off at the hike. Mom.
And then I will drive back home, make a nice dinner, have it all prepared. And then y'all can tell me all about the adventure and bring me back a rock or something. Cause that was it for me.
I'm a nervous person. I don't want to be in that situation. Feels dangerous.
Now, y'all all went whitewater rafting as well?
Yes. So we went the next day. And my legs are just sore. I can't even feel them. I still can't feel them today. But they're a little bit better. And we went whitewater rafting. The day started off with a video, an instructional video, and they basically teach you like what to do and what happens if you fall out. And those videos were so intense because they were like, if you try to stand in the river, you may get caught in a current or your foot may get caught in a rock and you will drown and die. And that's literally what they said. That's
absolutely not. Like, absolutely not.
Word
absolutely
by word.
Not.
So what you have to do is basically float on your back and make sure that you're facing, I guess, as the stream is going. So if the stream's going this way, like make sure you're floating.
I'm cool.
With your legs up in the air.
Girl,
and there's rocks, and there's rocks everywhere.
I would be dead gone. I mean,
I don't even like a very fast, like I don't even like water slides. Okay, I'm not. No, if I am in danger of drowning, I'm not doing that activity.
Yeah.
If I'm in danger of drowning, and that's why, like my ex-husband is very big into like water sports and water things. And we had a boat for a short time. I think he's got another boat now. He does have another boat now. So like my daughter will go, they'll do boat weekends at his house. And I'm just like, have fun. Because I would be so nervous. Like when in the early parts of me dating my ex-husband, we would go do like those, what is it called? Like when you hook the tube on the back of the boat. Or like the raft on the back
water
that they
tubing
pull it
or whatever.
Like, yeah, or tubing or whatever. And like, I was like, what if I get thrown from this tube and there's like, I can't make it to the top of the water, like the surface or whatever. I would be so panicked, but then I would just do it because, oh, he's cute. I'm gonna do it. Oh Lord. I don't do well in the water. So I give you a lot of credit for that.
It was pretty terrifying at first, but it was it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. Thankfully, I wasn't at like danger to fall out. I did see my roommate almost fall out. And yeah, it was really beautiful actually at one point.
And how long was the actual whitewater trip?
I want to say it was at least 2 hours and a half, maybe, if then. And there was a point where we got to jump out of a rock, or a cliff, I guess. I don't know if it's a cliff, but it wasn't that tall, but it was pretty funny. And my old college roommate, his bachelor party, he didn't even jump.
Why didn't he jump?
He didn't jump. He was scared.
What?
Scared.
Mr. Hiking over here in the comments talking about you, Daniel. Why didn't you jump?
But we didn't roast him. His whole like party was very kind. Like they didn't roast him and make him feel bad, as boys do, and they were just like, whatever, let's just like make this a fun weekend. And that's what we did for him.
Good.
Yeah,
that's good. What you should have. I had never been on a bachelor party or trip or anything like that until mine. And that's why it was really cool, because usually like when my friends and I travel, it's like we come together for dinners and we go out drinking and stuff. But it was true. Like I truly felt the love and support of each of the people in my wedding party, that like they even told me after the fact that like whenever we went out every night, everyone was tasked with like making sure that someone was always with me. I always had a drink in my hand, that like, because Miguel, who loves to stay past the closing time at a bar when everyone's ready to go, everyone was like, all right, tonight's your night to stay with Miguel if you want to stay out late, or if you want to go get some food afterwards, because Lord knows I'm known for going to Key West and being like, I'm gonna go get some pizza by myself. And they were like, no, bitch, not today.
Not today, no.
So that's really cool that they did that. Let's see here. Your friend said, I'll go head first down a mountain on a bike, no problem, because I have control.
But do you? Because that wheel hits a rock, Daniel, and you no longer have control of that bike.
Amy said, I went tubing in Tennessee 2 years ago. My tube popped and we had to walk across the slippery rocks. I fell several times, and yes, the current was pretty strong.
No.
Not to mention, like, y'all know what's in the water? Like, what's in there?
There could have been shit in there. I have no idea.
I know. That's why I'm like, I'll just stay at the pool.
Yeah, good for you for doing that. That would have been a I'm trying to think if I would have done that. Like probably the drowning part, because I know that even though I learned how to swim last year, I still haven't been in situations where I've had to like execute the plan. And I just feel like everything is probably in that situation is moving really quickly.
Yes.
And I don't know if I would go back to my training at the Y in Tampa, or if I would just be like,
They give you a life jacket, which is really helpful to float. I will say that.
Okay, that's good.
So at least you got that.
Girl.
Wow. All right. Well, look at that. Everybody had an adventurous little.
What
Labor
about
Day
was
weekend.
yours?
Oh, that's right. How much time? Okay, we got about 3 minutes.
We're okay. We get a little time.
All right. Friday night, Abe and I had a date night. We went to Emmy's Squared Pizza and had some delicious pizza. And I love how Abe celebrates my basic food habits, especially at a nice place. And this is a restaurant in South End that's actually, we just found out that it's like all over the Northeast. But they had these mozzarella sticks on the menu. Girl.
You love a damn mozzarella stick.
I do. And like I felt kind of trashy ordering the mozzarella sticks because they had like, I don't even remember. It was like stuff, probably like calamari or something like that. I don't even remember. But it was like nothing that I would eat. And then I'm always kind of like, do you mind if we get the mozzarella sticks? Yes, I know. Literally, you don't even have to ask. I was going to order them for you. And I'm like, thank you.
Like, yay, cheese.
Yay. It's so great. I love fried cheese, girl.
Like, I always think of that meme that's like, hey, do you want like 6 string cheeses? No. You want to bread them up and deep fry them? Absolutely.
Yes.
All of them.
Hell yes.
It was good. And then we went to this place called Vinyl and had a drink. And then we met up with some new friends of ours in this area of town called Noda. And then we ended up going to this and this is where the gay scene in Charlotte is super fascinating. Because it's let me choose my words carefully. There aren't a lot of gay spaces that are just gay clubs or whatever. But the few that there are, they don't like them, but they go because that's the only option.
Right.
And so because they're not run well and they're not treated with respect by the people that own them. And like I said, I don't know. This is what I've been told. So I don't know any of these people. So I don't want to seem like I'm bashing any establishments or anything. But this is just what I've been told from people that have lived here for a long time. Well, a lot of times what I've found is there are a lot of house parties. So we went to this house party around from where we were in Noda. And it was this guy's apartment that we were invited to go. And there were about 50 to 60 gays crammed up into this little apartment. What I found interesting is that Abe and I are so awkward in settings like that because you don't know who to talk to. And then we realized that a lot of the people there are probably in their mid to late 20s. And I'm in my now late 30s. Abe is in his early 30s. And so we just sort of feel kind of like fish out of water. And so people will be friendly and come up to us and talk. But then I get so in my head about what to say that it's almost like my social battery just runs out. And I'm just
you're working it over hard.
Yeah, because I'm all right, what do we say next? What do I ask them next? Whereas Saturday, we went and hung out with some friends that we've just met and had brunch with them and some drinks. And it was fine. We made great connections and connected with a couple and this other guy, this girl. And it was fantastic. I just think that big parties like that aren't our thing because usually if you're in a couple, you'll have one person that can sort of intro in to a group of people talking and sort of help the conversation, where Abe and I are both just
and you would think it would be you. I mean, frankly.
Right. But for some reason, in those big group settings, I get overstimulated and intimidated. And I'm just well, I just don't know what to say. There was one point I just stopped talking mid-sentence. And I was just so how you... And the guy was I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And then he walked past the bathroom door and went to another group of people to talk.
Oh no! Well, you're
actually, I just want to get away from you.
You're using a lot of energy when you're in those situations because you have that comfort with your already known friends at brunch. There's nothing to really worry about. You could just watch them talk with other people. When you're in this setting with 50 other gays and they are
that you don't know,
and there's no one that you could really escape to in a corner and oh, I know that person.
Right.
That sounds miserable to me.
Right.
And it's a lot of energy that you're using. A lot of social energy.
It is. It's really interesting at this point in our sort of social circle life here in Charlotte because we've made some pretty decent friends and we can feel it starting to become a little bit closer. And so I'm curious on how the next few months will play out as people start doing. Usually in most friend groups in the fall, you have someone hosts a pumpkin carving and someone throws a Halloween party and someone throws a Friendsgiving and stuff like that.
It's gonna be you.
Right. Well, I don't know. With some of these people, I don't want to step on toes because these are established groups.
Yeah.
And what you find here in Charlotte is a lot of people have moved here. You have people that have moved here in their 20s, or people that are from here. Very few people that are from here. And so people sort of get their groups and they cling on to them. And so it's not like they're trying to exclude people. It's just that they have their way of life. Whereas I feel in Florida where we were, everyone's moved there from somewhere else. And so you're always oh, hey, you're new? Come on over, girl. It's fine. Come on over here. And so it's really fascinating to sort of get to know the people and sort of see where do we fit in the dynamic of everything. But we did have people over Saturday night. And we had a really, really, really great time. It was like a small group of people. We had them over. We went out together, and I was like, I think that's the avenue that we're gonna start going. So when people are like, "Hey, there's this big party at someone's house," I'll be like, "What are y'all doing tomorrow for brunch?
Yeah.
Let's get like 3 or 4 people for brunch."
And that's
For
fine.
y'all.
You are showing that you know yourself.
Right.
That's fine.
So it was a good time. So that was my weekend.
I love it.
Kelvin, what is
Yes.
your social media?
At Kelvin Live. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Do you want some feet pics? Do you want some other kind of pictures?
Oh,
The OnlyFans will be getting soon. Maybe for like the holidays.
The holidays.
Yeah.
you're gonna
like-
put some tinsel around your junk?
Yeah, I'll put like a pumpkin on my junkin. And then maybe like a little
Girl, what are you saying?
do something with a turkey baser.
A gobbler.
For Thanksgiving.
No.
And then I'll be getting stuff.
No! Do
For-
not ruin my
And then
holidays.
for Christmas,
No.
I'll sit
no,
on Daddy's lap
No.
and get a nice little present.
All right,
Big ol'
so
present.
Wow.
now I know that whenever there's another one of these big gatherings of gays, I'll take Kelvin and we'll let
God.
Kelvin be the
Just
guy.
let-
Good
yeah, you
Lord.
let him go first. It's like when you go to a haunted house, you gotta pick who's gonna go in the lead. Same thing with these gay parties. You gotta go pick someone that's gonna be in the lead. It's Kelvin.
I do-
We're
Yeah.
gonna let Kelvin be that person.
Mhm.
He'll be like, "Hey, who here wants to put a turkey baster in me?"
I'll do it.
Oh my god.
Come over here.
Oh, God. Holly, what's your social media?
Radio Holly
Mhm.
on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Something going on with Instagram. Like I just felt so lame yesterday because I posted my new Halloween shirt on my own Instagram as a post,
Mhm.
and it didn't get very many likes at all.
Oh.
And I don't mean like I don't really care. Like I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not like gonna take it down or anything,
Mhm.
but it just shows me like how Instagram is not putting that in anyone's feed. Like
Pictures,
they
nope.
don't give a fuck about your fucking picture.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I'm more of a passive on my own personal. Like I put stories up, but I'm not, I feel like I'm not, it's too much pressure to be so creative to do reels all the time on my personal one. Like I'm now just more of a voyeur on Instagram because I like it. It's one of my favorites, but like you're gonna have to search me out if you want to see him.
Insta stories is where it's at.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing though, is that because I do a lot of reading up on social media trends and stuff, is that on TikTok, people are looking for not like polished stuff, but like the stuff that you may see that isn't
I know.
in your
I
niche.
love my stuff that I see. TikTok's probably my favorite form of social media right now.
Right.
And you don't have to have like a whole like it. You see like the trends and the dances or the
Right.
whatevers, the whatever viral stuff. But it's more so just like, hey, I'm going to talk to you right now.
Right. Whereas what I've read that they were like, Reels is just so desperate. Like, you don't have to try. Like, you just put up, anything on Reels, and then
know.
it may get some stuff. It's like usually the polished stuff is the stuff that doesn't get a lot of interaction
Mhm.
because Reels is just still trying to find its lane of like what
It's because it's trying to be someone else's lane.
Mhm.
It's not trying to find its own lane. It's literally like, hey, please love me as TikTok. Please. I'm
Mhm.
TikTok. I'm the exact same as TikTok. Look what I could do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's a lot. No, I get it. It's constantly like that's probably one of my biggest stressors every day. It's just trying to make sure that we as the Miguel and Holly brand are like up on stuff because it's changing all the time.
Fluidly, yes.
Instagram had added videos and that took out Vine. And
Yeah.
now they're trying to do this with TikTok.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But TikTok is so big. I just listened to a whole podcast about social media, and there's this new thing called Be Real, which is sort of trying to make an emphasis on unpolished stuff, where basically what happens is you download the app, and let's say you have 10, 15 friends on there. At random times throughout the day, the Be Real app will send a notification that just says, hey, take a picture of where you are. and it takes a picture in the front and the back of where you are.
Oh yeah, who had that? Sophia Carson?
Yeah. And so you only have 2 minutes to do it, and so it's supposed to be an unpolished view of what you're doing, and not this like, oh my God, I've got to like make my makeup look great, and I've got to like make sure I'm doing something exciting. And it's supposed to go back to like, oh, here's you just doing like random stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So who knows where that'll end up, but it's becoming popular.
Look at that.
Yeah, I like it. It's been fun. Mine is Miguel Fuller, MIGELFULLER. I got a little bit of funny stuff. I got a little bit of political stuff. So I sort of not force too much political stuff there, but midterm elections are coming up, period. And I got some shit to say.
Okay.
All right, everybody. See you later. Leave us a rating. We'll really appreciate it. Bye now.
Only if it's 5:30.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.